Well, I think the E's finally figured out what to do with an episode of Raw. You begin with the Shield, and you end with the Shield. So we start with the Shield, more or less calling out Evolution. They see Evolution's car come pulling up. They then run from the ring to the parking garage to whoop the daylights out of Evolution. Evolution comes down later, talk how they're going to dismantle the Shield. Shield shows up, tags him. Batista calls out Roman Reigns. So your main event, Batista-Roman Reigns. The Animal versus the powerhouse of the Shield. Nice match for what little there actually is of it. Because of course, Triple H and Orton get involved. Which means Ambrose and Rollins get involved. Which means this match gets thrown out. Which means you have another 3-on-3 beatdown. And then Steph shows up and unloads the locker room of all the heels. Then you have the mass heel beatdown of the Shield, like 15-on-3. Roman Reigns is able to fight out a little bit. Still my chest and throat thing, sorry. Dean comes in with a steel chair, so the Shield with chairs is the equal of like 15 people. So that means that Shield plus chairs equals John Cena, more or less. Continuing the John Cena-Bray Wyatt feud. They did a rematch of their match from SmackDown. So Cena and the Usos versus the Wyatt family. Nice match, good back and forth. I like how they're having the Usos pair off against the Wyatt family. Wyatt family, dominant heels. It makes sense to be the ones going after the Usos for the tag gold. Usos end up getting the victory this time. So they lost on SmackDown, but ended up getting the victory here. Good. Nice match, good solid match. Bray Wyatt cuts a promo about how far he wants to know if John Cena's going to go. If John Cena will actually give up. What will happen when those two face, and who will be the last man standing? So, essentially a last man standing match for Payback in Chicago. Of course, I'll be at a tortilla convention in Las Vegas at the time, so I'll have to catch it on the network. That match sounds super interesting. Super interesting. Swagger took on Rob Van Dam. And Adam Rose and his group came down. Ironically, when you see Adam Rose on NXT, that group of people seems huge with a really small walkway. With a larger walkway, it doesn't seem to be anywhere near as impactful. It's like he needs almost like 100 people to fill up that walkway to give it that really grandiose feel to it. So of course they distract Swagger. Like a super kick, 5-star, Rob Van Dam picks up the win. Heads up with the Exotic Express. If Rob Van Dam's on there, that bus is going to get a little bit smoky. And I'm pretty sure every Taco Bell and White Castle near that bus is going to be sold out of food pretty quickly. Paige took on Alicia Fox. They've been doing Paige as this whole... Oh, that sounds really, really naughty. So they've been working Paige in kind of this she's a newbie, so we know what's going on. She's really been lucky. For this, she has like 7 years of experience at 21. And she's just lucky when it comes to winning these matches. So Alicia Fox more or less cuts a promo like that. Yes, Alicia Fox cut a promo. And then Alicia Fox goes to waylaying the bejesus out of Paige. Like attacks her before the bell. The match was... Alicia Fox was vicious. And I was like, dang, this is Alicia Fox I see on NXT. And she had a great Northern Lights, had a really good, solid, just vicious heel beatdown. Where she did the whole, kind of nonchalantly playing around with Paige a little bit. It was great. I mean, this was a fantastic women's match. Paige Turner, Paige gets the victory. Fox sold it well. Great match. I'll juxtapose that with Natalya took on Nikki. I'm guessing this is fallout from the painting thing they did from Total Divas. But the rest of the cast is there with the store cards and scoring the moves. Really made for an awkward match. It was just bad. I mean, these two had no chemistry, and they've wrestled a ton of times. They should totally have chemistry. They didn't. It was just bad. And constantly coming to the outside to show, divas holding up random cards. Just really made for a cool match. Hacksaw Jim Duggan came down. Of course, you know what that means. Rusev has to come down. But then Big E gets in the ring as Rusev and gets annihilated. I'm thinking, you know what? Big E and Langston, Alexander Rusev, that could be a really solid match. Two big powerhouses. You got a guy who's somewhat well established, Rusev, who's becoming to establish himself as a really credible heel. That could be a pretty solid feud. So looking forward to that. Sheamus took on Ryback Axel. I gotta say Ryback Axel because first he took on Curtis Axel. Decent match, nice back and forth. Gets the win. Ryback comes in and attacks Sheamus. Which suddenly supposed to have a one-on-one match. And I'll be honest, Ryback, Sheamus, again, you got two big bulls trying to go at each other. You know, not a bad match. With Sheamus, of course, getting the victory. And I was like, you know, those are two pretty solid matches back-to-back for Sheamus. The guy who almost never loses matches. Damian Sandow took on Cody Rhodes. Remember, like a year ago, Damian Sandow was like the hottest thing going? And then remember he won Money in the Bank and he feuded with Cody Rhodes? And it was an awesome set of feuds? I guess that was almost like 2 years ago? It's been a while since Damian Sandow was a real credible wrestler. It seems that ever since he lost to a one-armed John Cena, he really hasn't done anything. They take on Cody Rhodes, who they're kind of just coasting him in Goldust until they do the breakup between those two and they have a match at SummerSlam. So, you know, decent match. Again, Damian and Cody have great chemistry. We just saw when they were a tag team and now in their rivalries. It's a solid match. There's just no build-up to it, so it felt kind of hollow. With Cody getting the victory, of course. Daniel Bryan is going to be out for neck surgery. Which by itself works well for us. He just came out and said his style gives him injuries. Style gives him injuries. Fans like him. Man, that seems a lot like some other guy. Oh, what was that guy's name? Edge. Edge had a great career, had his really physical style. Fans loved it for that style. His neck went south on him, his career lasted, his career went away really quickly while he's at the top of his game. Daniel Bryan at the top of his game, currently having problems. I'm beginning to think we're starting to see a problem here. When Dolph Ziggler finally made it to the top, he had injuries. John Cena every year loses a couple of months due to injuries. Daniel Bryan had a concussion in January. They wrote him out constantly with injury angles pretty much leading up to WrestleMania. From WrestleMania, he then got married, his dad died, so they did an injury angle to keep him out for a little while. Comes back and defeats Kane, now is going to be out with an injury again. That ass just absolutely suck. Then it gets even worse. They do a Kane beatdown. There's no reason to. You have a guy who said, I'm having neck surgery on Thursday. You don't need to do a beatdown angle for it. He has a reason to not be there. Unless you want to do the beatdown and then have that be the reason why he's getting surgery. You don't do surgery and then a beatdown angle, which then led to Stephanie and Brie. Initially, I thought this could be good because I thought those two might actually work well against each other. Oh, wow. Yeah. Brie just does not have the acting ability at all. Wow. I mean, Steph's no Meryl Streep, but wow. Seeing those two as Daniel Bryan's be blowing up into the ambulance, and it's just like, ooh, this is bad. Alright, magic of your video editing skills, WWE, make this work. So that was Raw. On a side note, last week Hugh Jackman was on Raw, and he had another cancer scare. So, He had a little bit of basal cell carcinoma taken off his nose. You know, I'm well aware as to how you feel, Hugh. I don't know how well it's going to show up due to the lighting in the room, but got this nice big spot right here. So I hope, I hope that's the last time he has to have cancer removed, because it's not a fun process, especially when he had it removed on the nose. And touch your nose right now. There's not a lot of skin, and they remove the area and then around it, and then have to kind of fold the skin together. Again, touch your nose. Not a lot of slack to try to get things to work. So he's gonna have a problem when it comes to laughing, smiling for about a week until that actually heals up nicely. So you watch older videos. I had the Wolverine. I couldn't shave over it. So that was kind of ironic that myself and Hugh Jackman share the exact same sort of cancer, and when I couldn't shave, I had a beard like Wolverine.